A continuous wraparound lean-to, painted frames, a 40 by 80 red iron structure out there in Lulling, Texas. You want to know how much this project costs? Well, let's stick around and find out. Welcome Backpack, it's Eric from WolfSteel Buildings, and right next to me I have Ernesto, our new sales director, already making an impact here at WolfSteel Buildings. And today, Ernesto, you're gonna break down the cost of this 40 by 80 weld-up structure out there in Lulling, Texas, right?
Yeah, so first and foremost, Eric, definitely glad to be back to the channel. Definitely providing our clients a lot of value that goes into these buildings. There's a lot that goes into custom pricing with custom buildings, so we're definitely looking forward to breaking down those details.
Yeah, something that I'm going to miss, Ernesto, is you selling buildings out there in Lulling, Texas. If you guys are wondering why, there's a Buc-ee's nearby, world's biggest Buc-ee's, and Lockhart's not that far. If you're not familiar with Lockhart, Lockhart has amazing barbecue. So thank you for not selling any more buildings out there, but your teams will stay selling out there, right?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Each team, each pod is definitely going to be stepping into the role of selling, giving value to customers. That's where I'm coming in, giving the value, starting here in the channel, but also giving that to the team. That way they can help you guys out.
Awesome, thank you, Ernesto. So again, Pack, stay tuned because Ernesto, like he said, he's going to break down the cost and all the customizations that went behind this project out there in Lulling. Again, it's a 40 by 80. It's a red iron weld up. So what are you waiting for, Ernesto? Let's get it started.
Let's get started.
Alrighty, Pack. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is located in Lulling, Texas. If you're not familiar with the area, Lulling is towards the San Marcos and the San Antonio area. We've been building a lot out there, right, Ernesto?
Yeah, a little bit down south, a little bit down east.
So this is a 40 by 80. It has 16 foot to the eaves. It has a standard 312 pitch. It has a wrap-around continuous lean-to. Hopefully these drone shots and all these B-rolls are doing it justice, and you guys can visualize it at home as what I mean to a wrap-around continuous lean-to. But let's break down the whole project cost, Ernesto.
And the total project cost for that on the metal building part is $135,106 with 56 cents.
Wow, that's a lot of money, but a lot of money for a great building.
For a lot of building.
Yeah, for a lot of building. I-beams, big size I-beams, big purlins. I believe they're 8-inch purlins on the inside. We actually painted the frame as well, right, Ernesto?
Yeah, so that number actually is everything. I mean, you're talking about doors, windows, gutters, taxes, the equipment to erect the building. All that is embedded into our cost, and that's where we get that $135K.
Yes, Ernesto, it is a very big building. Just like you said, if you count the extended part, which is 10 feet on each side, it's technically a 60 by 100. Lots of space for your porch area, for storage, for comfort. Possibilities are endless with that type of size. But let's dive into the accessories this building has. I know we have roll-up doors, walk-in doors, and windows. He does have 4 roll-up doors, which are 10 by 10. Mm-hmm. He has them on the front side and on the side of the building. Any idea why your client wanted 4 roll-up doors?
Not necessarily. I know he had future plans for the layout of the building itself. He does have 4, so he had 2 on the side, 1 on each end. Now, he had actually sent me a pretty cool internal shot of some of his plans. I know the 2 doors on the side, he was actually putting a potential lift there where he can access the garage from the side entry, yes. And that way he could park some cars there. And then if anything, those 2 doors are actually in line for a drive-through across the whole length of the building.
Yes, actually they are, and he did mention that when we went out there to visit. Cool. Aside from a drive-through option, mm-hmm. For ventilation as well.
Yes.
Speaking of ventilation, he has 4 windows as well, Ernesto, and he just added them for aesthetic purposes and for natural sunlight.
Yeah, I think he's also planning on, just at least that corner where a walk-in door, a couple windows are at, maybe, you know, building some kind of sink or some kind of just internal use space in reference to the building. That way he just gets some natural light.
I know he has, it's a pretty big building. It's a 40 by 80. That's 3,200 square feet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, if the math's mathing.
If my math is mathing. But I know you're seeing these cool B-rolls. He does have some conduits running, some plumbing running. I believe he will be using that part of the space for a little small office.
Okay.
So that's why he has those windows right next to all those conduits and all that all those rough-ins, and he has one walk-in door right next to those rough-ins as well.
Right on.
So aside from that, Ernesto, he also added the two-tone wainscot all around the building. It is matte black. Okay, if you guys are wondering about the colors, we totally skipped that part. It is matte black on the wainscot, on the trim, on the roof, and for the sides and ends, we have our color white. I'm pretty happy to see another black and white building on our videos. I know we were talking a lot about them, and then we started getting all these Burgess Slate, ash gray, Quaker gray, black. But it feels good to finally see another black and white building.
Yeah, so I know it's definitely a popular option, a lot that we had on our channel, and this particular customer just so happened to always like that, and he's like, hey, I know, I know you're probably gonna hate me for this, but we do like that black and white.
That black and white.
So you can never go wrong with this. A classic, clean-cut look that does not go out of style.
But this is a matte black, right?
Yes, yeah. That color right there is matte.
Can you tell the audience the difference between a matte black and a black?
Yeah, so one is just a little bit more on like the gloss side, and then the matte is also considered like flat. Like it's not that it has like a grayish hue to it, but it actually just makes the black look a little bit more condensed, but it's clean at the same time too. I've seen the two panels side by side with the building already up, and matte honestly just has that cutting edge look to it that I feel
when
like
the
gloss
sun
doesn't.
hits it, it looks very different as well.
Yeah,
right?
it does. It does.
Staying on subject, Ernesto, regarding the wainscot, typically it's about 3 foot tall, right?
Yeah, it's typically on average about 3 foot from the ground.
So for this client, we do have it all around the building. It is matte black. This is a custom type of work, right, Ernesto?
Yeah, it's one thing to have the panels come all the way down, but then it's another thing to pretty much stop at a specific section and then offset that color. It's not like you could just slap on one panel over the other. It is a lot of custom work in regards to integrating the panels together while also solving for an aesthetic, because well, we do use something known as a Z-trim, and that's really what overlaps the three panels together. Not only adds like an accent, an aesthetic, makes it look, that luxury of not only functionality of splitting the two panels together, but it also gives it that look that makes it look a lot more clean.
Yeah, you couldn't say any better. It looks very luxurious. For anybody at home, the Z-trim simply connects the side panel and makes that transition into the wainscot. And we have added frames behind the panels. It is an added cost, right? And that's simply for the added materials and the extra labor.
It's big on labor intensive, that's for sure. Like doing that two-tone is just a lot of labor intensity to make sure that it comes out executed properly on site.
Yeah. And something else that I want to add, Pat, is that we have gutters and downspouts all around the building as well.
Yeah, so our gutters and downspouts, they're integrated into the actual trim of the building. So, as you'll see, it's pretty much sits flush with the edge of the building, and then of course just integrated into the downspout itself. So yeah, this building does have gutters and downspouts around the entire perimeter of the building as a whole. All
those downspouts, they do meet at the end of the continuous wrapper lean-to, right?
Correct.
The downspouts run along those columns. It looks very nice because the downspouts are color matching to the matte black, and the frames are painted to have an exact match, which is the matte black. It's a very, very good building, very amazing building to its last detail. Lots of good craftsmanship went behind this building. That's something that here at WolfSteel Buildings, might have some people that call in, and not all of them, but there's a percentage of clients or future clients that do call in, and they say, why are you guys a little bit more expensive? And why is that, Ernesto?
Well, I mean, honestly, it does come down to the experience that's just as important as the building that they're getting, right? It's what's about to unfold. It's a lot of the behind the scenes that people just don't see. or they see once the job is done, right? Because one of the biggest things that I really liked about the process, especially with this customer, which is actually pretty funny, because whenever he saw the building, once it was complete.
Oh yes, I know where he's going with this.
He had mentioned he said it's kind of crazy to think, but it looks exactly like the design you guys sent me prior to building.
Yeah.
And then I remember thinking, I was like, well, I'd hope so, but it was no. I was really happy to just kind of hear the customer say that, hey, this is exactly what.
But he said it looks scary, right?
Yeah, he's like, it's a little scary, but it looks exactly like the design you guys sent me prior to building. So no, that was pretty awesome.
To give you guys an idea at home, I'm gonna show the architectural or the rendering that we sent his client, and then we'll compare it to the real. How do you say it? Real version?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the building already up because it's. Construction is always done in the office first, so it's a lot of tedious behind the scenes work that's happening here in the office to control and minimize anything that could happen out in the field, right? So a lot of the things just happen here in the office, and then it's easily executed on site. And that's why a lot of the planning does take place here, and that's why what was on paper, what was on his screen, ended up just magically appearing.
And speaking of planning, Ernesto, I do remember you talking to this particular client on the regular. I know this process took about 7-8 months.
Yeah, give or take. I know that it was something that did take a little bit of while. It was actually a project that
not the erection portion, Pac. I don't want to confuse you guys at home. What I mean by the 7-8 months is the whole process, from the first hello, how you doing, to the last screw that went into that project. Like how did that process go, Ernesto?
Well, I mean, yeah, this project came in, this particular customer put it on hold actually for a while. So, customers come in, they have a game plan. Sometimes, a little bit of setbacks do happen. But right whenever he was ready to kind of pick the ball up and run with it, we just came up with the concept drawing that worked. We went ahead and priced it. We made little modifications here and there the moment we started identifying the building.
Yes.
And then once we got to that point of okay, this design works, and then this quote works, let's go ahead and get the ball rolling, and that's kind of how it took place. I
hope you guys heard those main keywords that Ernesto just said. What works? This is what worked for my client. This is the quote that worked for my client. Give a little bit of explanation of that. This works for you.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it really just comes down to bouncing ideas, concepts, concerns.
Yeah.
Right, you got to start with something, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to our sales pack here, we're here to help you. Nothing is set in stone. It starts with an idea, but then we can start bouncing ideas off each other to find the balance between wants and needs, right? Because there's always those there, and we want to make sure that the balance between what you're looking for definitely balances out with, the cost and price range that you're looking for as well.
Yeah, thank you, Ernesto, for saying that. Hope that gives a little bit more clarity on what our sales process looks behind the scenes. Not to toot my own horn, right? But I do believe and I do think that we are the best during the sales process, because anyone can just sell a building, but what we're selling is an experience.
Always. First things first is customer satisfaction over service. It's about control. With control comes quality.
Yes.
So what we want to do is we want to give customers that experience. It's just as important as the building that you're getting, because it's a hassle. It's a hassle to get It's a big investment. And the process should be just as important as that finished product.
As the finished product. And glad you touched the subject on control and quality, which is very important here at WolfSteel Buildings. Jared, our building manager, I went out with him to shoot some content, but he was actually out there to check on quality. And for this particular project, we did have to stop the construction erection. Some things weren't lining up, and we had to put a stop to it, collect our thoughts, reevaluate, and then continue the project.
Yeah. So I do remember seeing that process unfold the moment that there was the slightest bit, because this is construction, right?
Yes.
You can plan, but if something is not going accordingly, you could do one of two things. You can continue the problem, or you can be the company that takes the initiative and honestly just puts a stop to it, puts a hold to it, gets the customer on the same page, fixes it, and then make sure that the finished product is what it was supposed to be from the beginning.
Yes, even the client did reach out to us. We thought he was gonna get mad because we stopped the project, but it was the other way around. He was actually happy and glad that we actually made a minor stop to the project and reevaluated the situation, and then continue the erection on a later date. But he did thank us, which it feels good.
Yeah, it always does.
All right, Pac. So everything that Ernesto just mentioned, the 40 by 80, the continuous lean-to, the matte black wainscot all around, the white panels, the gutters and downspouts, the 4 roll-up doors, which are 10 by 10, the 2 steel door insulated doors, which are our standard 36 by 84, and our 36 by 36 double pane windows, which in this case we have 4 of them on the building, 2 on the front and 2 on the right-hand side of the building, depending on which orientation you're looking at it. But everything that I just mentioned, that Ernesto mentioned too, we're looking at a grand total price of $135,106 with 56 cents. And this includes what, Ernesto?
So that's building, all the accessories that you mentioned, equipment, taxes, delivered, installed, ready to go.
Ready to go. Again, Pac, we did not do the concrete for this project. The client already had an existing concrete foundation on the site. But if you want to compare, how does the saying go, Ernesto? Apples to apples or apples and oranges?
This would be a little bit more of apples and oranges.
So we're going to compare the price of a red iron and a tubular structure, same dimensions, same accessories, the whole 9 yards. Like Ernesto just said, apples and oranges.
So 2 different products, however, same outcome in regards to dimensions. Of course, the way that the building has to be constructed is a little bit different, but when you're talking about dimensions, 40 by 80 by 16, the lean-tos, the roof extensions, all that can still be compatible with tubular. And if you were to do that, of course, the design would look a little bit different, but we can always give you a visual as to what that would look like. But if you were to compare the apples to red iron to the oranges of tubular, you would actually be looking at a grand total of $122,735 with 50 cents.
All right, let's put that price here for the tubular with all the accessories and dimensions and whatnot, and then we'll put the pricing for the red iron on this side. We'll align them and then compare the two. That way you at home can visualize. You'll get the same WolfSteel product, same quality, the same experience, but one is more on the cost-effective side.
Correct. Yeah, so a little bit of difference in regards to the aesthetic behind it. Not necessarily that the quality is jeopardized, but you do have luxuries with tubular in regards to being able to downgrade certain things that you just get that quality with red iron, like you see with this phenomenal building that we did for this customer. But of course, ask your sales rep. They'll tell you exactly what the differences are between the two. However, if you're always wanting to be cost effective with those dimensions, you always have the option of tubular.
Yeah. Again, Pac, on the tubular size, since these dimensions are a 40 by 80, what factors in on the cost here? The width, right?
So widths, I've always said that widths are more expensive than lengths. That's the biggest thing here. So, but the biggest difference between the two is honestly just the type of material that it is. One of them being red iron and the accessories that just come standard with the quality behind what red irons do represent. And then tubular just has materials a little bit different that are a little bit more cost effective, but you can upgrade if you choose to do so.
Yeah, and that's right, Ernesto. If you're looking to get a building, a project out here in the areas of Lulling, San Antonio, or San Marcos, please feel free to call. Again, we only serve the state of Texas. We are located in Fort Worth, and we do have a unique PAC members right here, Ernesto, and they have very unique names, sales PAC team members, and what they are?
Yeah, so we got, starting, with the Alpha Wolves, we got the Dream Team, we got the Quote Busters, the Texas Lobos, we got the Shadow Wolves, and the new and included, the A-Team. The A-Team, that's right. Again, PAC, feel free to leave some comments down below if you have any questions, any concerns, or any suggestions so we can improve the channel. Again, PAC, aside from providing walkthrough videos, we also do provide educational and bring you value at home if you're wondering about getting a building. Hopefully these videos do help you on tips
or anything, right, Ernesto?
Yeah. Also, if you ever want to just jump on our website and come up with the designer that we have there, I know that Anadela does have a very helpful video that does go through the designer step by step. So if you ever have any questions about how to maybe go through the designer to do something that's just yours to your liking, you can always check out that video and then see exactly how to navigate that designer so you can build something to your liking.
Awesome, very well said, Ernesto. Again, Pack, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to stay updated on all WolfSteel building videos, and we'll see you guys in the next one.